This guy's gonna show up to the wedding in a Michigan polo, probably, and just the strangest.
You
I
know,
bought
I
a
didn't
yacht
have
shorts.
I didn't have a Michigan polo before, but now that you said it,
Oh
I might
no,
buy one in the next
Oh,
week.
you could
jeez.
definitely get it in before the
You could
wedding
have you
too.
could have just kept your mouth shut and
I've
it
never
wouldn't
done
have
that.
happened.
I've never done that ever. But we have done this before. Welcome to Stranded in Pittsburgh episode. It doesn't really matter. This is one of those episodes where I don't know how morale's going to be because, sure, the Pirates beat Cleveland today, but the previous two games I don't even really want to talk about, but we have to because it's our job. And then
Don't be
they signed
big.
Highsmith. The Steelers did. That's fun. But it's just the dog days of summer, and we're hot and we're sweaty, and the only team we really have to watch right now is just making us furious. But regardless, we trudge forward. It's Nick, Jack, and Ethan back at it again. Ethan, you were at the game today, covering it for Pittsburgh Baseball Now. What was it like in there? What was it like in the clubhouse? What's the feeling here before they go west?
Um, well, when I walked in there this morning, it was very, very dull and bleak. And I believe the first song I heard was Hotel California, and then followed by Don't Stop Believing. So
Wow.
that's what I heard early this morning. But then
Sheldon just
after the
had his
game,
80s ballads. Well,
yeah, I know.
I guess the Hotel California is not an 80s song, but or ballad, but you get the picture.
Yeah. So witnessed that this morning, and then after the game, the mood was better. It still wasn't like everyone like losing their shit or anything like that. So, but it was more upbeat than what I would imagine it would have been uh the 2 days prior, and even on that Sunday game. But it just overall just my thoughts of what has transpired since the beginning of the All-Star break has just been just abysmal. There once again the inconsistencies are back. That just pitching has been down, offense has been down. Nobody seems to have an answer for anything. The whole mood of the clubhouse is just very, very bad. The Pirates calling up Andy Rodriguez, Leover Peguero, those two guys after the loss on Sunday, that was like, a sign like, oh, we're waving the white flag. This season is over. Because, like, look at it. Just because they call up these two guys, and these guys that people have been clamoring about for the past several months to be called up. They're up now. But the Pirates are now in last place, dead last, down 11 games. It's over. They would have to go on an immaculate run to that wasn't even a word, but an immaculate run
Taking a page
to
out of my book.
even be somewhat make it somewhat respectable of an ending to a season. And yeah, they just have just looked terrible over the past several games. Got outscored 21-1 over the first two games of the series against the Guardians. And they just looked all out of sorts from all facets of the game. Today they turned it around. I was honestly very shocked once they went down 1-0 off of the squeeze bunt for the Guardians to get the first run of the game. I thought, yeah, here we go. It's going to be a repeat of the last several games. And then they went down 4-0. And I was like, oh, yep, they're going to keep piling on. That's the game. But no, they actually showed some fight, something that we haven't seen out of this team in several weeks now, or the past at least week since the All-Star break, and even before that. So at least we saw some fight from them today, but still it just looks very, very bad. The young bucks that came up in Endy, and even Nick Gonzalez and Henry Davis as well, they've been struggling as of late. And yes, it's a small sample size, and yes, they're still very young, but to have all of this hype, especially from the fans, you can see it now. They're really, really dejected, but at least for the young guys, it seems like their mood is still very, very up. after, getting the call up and having all of that happen. So their mood's very, very high, and they still think that they can, be the ones to turn the ship around and mend things moving forward. But yeah, I mean, just overall, it's nice to see the younger guys up and getting opportunities here, but I still think there's nothing else more to give but the same old song and dance for the Pirates year after year, where they just fall and falter and they have this monumental collapse year in and year out. There's just nothing that has changed. It's going to be interesting to see in the next week what happens at the trade deadline and see where this team will pivot, see which guys they will, look to send away. So it's all going to be interesting there. But I know I rambled for the past probably about 5 minutes, but that's just what I've seen in the week that was for the Pirates. I mean, I guess, I did forget one thing. The one good bright spot is Jared Triolo, who has put together a nice 12-game hitting streak. So, that's one rookie that has, shown some prowess at the plate, and also in the field as well. Makes you kind of forget a little bit about Ryan Hayes, who is still on the IL, who had some, lower back issues that flared up a week before the All-Star break that put him back on the IL before the break there, still looking to come back, and probably will go on a rehab assignment if I'm, I would be shocked if he doesn't go on a rehab assignment before getting, activated and back into playing the everyday role. But Triolo's, made some big head waves and, has done a lot of good things so far for the Pirates in his young career. And he's looking very, very good at the hot corner for the Pirates.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I think there's a lot of discussions that may need to be had once Cruz and Hayes are both back and playing, because now you have Peguero, you have Triolo, as you mentioned, you have Gonzalez. You have a lot of guys there that are infielders outside of first base kind of vying for spots there, and there aren't going to be enough spots once all these guys are healthy. And I know they paid Key. I know he's a great defender. I know Nolan Arenado's robbed him of Gold Gloves before, and we all like to talk about Key's defense. And we need to talk about Key's bat, though. And I know he heated up at a point before he got hurt, but you need to have these conversations. You have to let the thought in there, what happens if Triolo stays hot here? I think there's a lot to dive into. And again, they're paying Key, so I don't see them bumping him out of a starting spot. And it's a pretty lengthy deal, so they're not going to, I don't think, be able to move him anytime soon. But they're going to have to figure out some way for this lineup to work if everything continues as the status quo has been going so far. But just to circle back around to this series, and this may be a long rant, and I know for me that's something most people don't want to listen to, is me go on a long rant, because I have so many thoughts and I just start stumbling over my words sometimes, especially when it's something that I care about as much as the Pittsburgh Pirates. And Jack looks very intent at the screen as I say that, because he knows what's coming. Listen, they have not had a good start since the All-Star break, and they're playing Cleveland. And I know the Pirates Guardians isn't up there on Steelers Browns level, but it's still Pittsburgh Cleveland. You call up Priester, you call up Peguero, you call up Rodriguez, you go, wow, there's some spark behind these guys now. They're playing a sub 500 baseball team. This is going to be a good chance to maybe kind of ignite the flames under this team and the fan base again and make a nice little run like we talked about last week. They don't need to be a playoff team. We just need something to grab onto. And boy, did they lay two stinkers of games back-to-back, the first two games of this Cleveland series. I mean, Cleveland may make the playoffs this year, but that's a division where the division leader's 2 games over 500 as of the time we're recording this, okay? Cleveland's a 500, a few games above, a few games below kind of baseball club. That's their ceiling and floor this year. And I just find it so disheartening that Pittsburgh came out and did what they did offensively, back-to-back games against that Cleveland squad. And we tweeted it out on Stranded today. If you would have told me that they would have erased a 4-0 deficit this morning, I would have thought you were doing some drugs under one of Pittsburgh's many bridges, because it sounded unfathomable. I almost stopped listening to it once it became 4-0. Rich Hill's out there screaming at Jack Sawinski. I thought he was going to do what Sean Rod did to that Gatorade keg that one year, but to Jack Sawinski's face. He was screaming. I saw a tweet today that said, Rich Hill's not that good to be that mad. And while that was a funny tweet, they need someone to show some kind of energy from a veteran kind of position. And I don't mind Rich Hill showing a little bit of emotion, trying to whip these guys into shape, show them that they should care. And again, Ethan, as you said, I don't think the young guys don't care. It's just they need to see the veterans kind of leading by example, showing that they care, showing that they're not giving up on things yet. But I mean, so much to take in. Why can't this offense and why can't the dugout look as energetic as they did after ND got his first hit all the time? And I know what you're saying, Nick. Are you really asking why they aren't as excited all the time as they are when a high prospect gets his first hit? That's not the point. The point is, why is there no energy on this team unless something like that is happening? This is a team full of young guys. You want to see their energy kind of radiating. They got Kutch in there. You want to see him getting going. You want to see all these things. Brian Reynolds is a stoic human being. His face kind of looks like the Stonehenge people all the time. But you want to see some kind of emotion from the guys that have been there once in a while and try to get these young guys to show the energy they were showing and giving to ND today. And it's just confusing to me why it goes from feeling like we're at a funeral home to, oh, one minute good thing happens and suddenly everyone's going crazy. They need to have some kind of positive energy encapsulated and be able to bring forward a good energy, good tempo into the whole game. And I don't know how many times I just said the word energy there, but thank you for listening to that.
Yeah, and the road's not going to get easier for them. They got Ohtani on Friday in Los Angeles. They just named, I believe they just named him the starter. So things aren't going to get easier, and it's not going to probably look pretty on that West Coast when they got San Diego after that as well. So they're going to need to do some work on the road if they want to start, turning the page on what was a utterly embarrassing start to the unofficial second half of the season. They're going to need to do some things, especially on the road. It's going to be hard to get wins against a very talented Los Angeles Angels team, but they're going to need to at least take one game there and at least one or two in San Diego to come back home, get another off day on Thursday, and just reset as the Phillies come to town for Yinzer Palooza on the 28th. But yeah, they're just going to need to find some things and get things, figured out there. But also another thing that I wanted to mention was, if I don't know, Nick, if you saw the report about Ke'Bryan Hayes and Charlie Hayes, his dad, saying that he was unhappy about being in Pittsburgh right now.
Yeah, you're in the press box. I want to know if there's any validity to that. That sounds like a very strange rumor to come out when he's in the midst of a 8-year deal or something.
Right. And I was very puzzled by that. And I know Jason Mackey followed up, Jason Mackey, the Post-Gazette, followed up with that today. And this just shows how well prepared I am. Basically said that he's fine with being in Pittsburgh, which was kind of a weird response to go along with that. But basically said he was fine. Here's the quote that Jason Mackey got from Hayes today. My mom sent it to me. I was kind of caught off guard. I was like, that type of thing. It's not true. I'm fine here. I've been frustrated dealing with this back thing for the second time again. I've always loved being here. The fans have always treated me well. I like being here. It's quiet. Just kind of like where I'm at back home. Yeah, it's not true. So that's what Ke'Bryan Hayes addressed in a report that he's unhappy being here. That was from Jason Mackey. So
I don't know about you two, but hearing about a alleged franchise cornerstone in year 2 or 3 of his 8-year deal, saying he's fine here, that just makes me really excited. It's fine. That's very encouraging.
Yeah.
This early on in the life of that deal, I feel like that means he's going to be a ray of sunshine for the half decade plus.
Yeah, that once he said that, and then everything else after that, I was just like, oh, I don't believe. I don't like. Yes, everyone's frustrated right now, and yes, he's been dealing with injuries, and he hasn't been probably 100% healthy since probably the beginning of the 2021 season, because he's been dealing with injuries throughout there. So yes, he's going to be unhappy. Yes, he's not going to be happy with the way that they've, played so far this year, and especially the way that they've played over the past 2 months. So, but to see him react like that, and especially addressing what he said today, especially after the report from Colin Dunlap the other day, I don't know how promising it is to hear something like that from someone right now, and to see what he said afterwards. Yeah, I just don't buy what he's saying.
I'm glad he flat out kind of denied it, though. Whether or not you think I'm fine is a good answer. I know I kind of sarcastically took some jabs at him there. But I'm glad he didn't let it linger. I'm glad he addressed it head on. Granted, he was asked about it head on, so he was kind of pushed into a corner. But I don't think he's the kind of guy that's going to start causing too much drama in the clubhouse or anything. I can't think of anything that would let me believe that. I know there may have been some other things with his father not being super happy about where he is, but he himself, I don't know if I buy that. And again, that's just off the top of my head. I might have forgotten one great storyline or something, Antonio Brown-esque storyline perhaps, but just with Key Brian Hayes. But I don't think I am. But yeah, I don't buy that he's super unhappy here. I think that would have been weird that he would have signed his deal when he did, because when he signed it, they were still in this mentality of a few years away from contending. So I don't think it should be a shock to him. Maybe if their performance is why he would be unhappy, I don't think it should be, because he had to have known they wouldn't be that good right now in terms of where they are in the rebuild. Fourth one of my life, by the way. But yeah, Quinn Priester debuted Monday. Got through the lineup the first time with flying colors, ground balls galore. It reminded me of a Nick Hedrick-esque mound. I almost said mound outing. That sounds very odd. Of an outing from myself back in the day on the little league fields.
He's mounding around out there.
But second and third time through, it got a little dicey. And for the first time in his life, Shelton just left him out there to rot, and he did the same thing to Keller last night. This isn't what we meant when we said leave him in the games, not when they're getting shellacked. But I don't know. It could be easy to be a typical Pirates person and be all on the, oh, well, he's a bust already kind of train and doom and gloom because people aren't too happy about the coaching staff they have in there. But I don't know. He made it through the Guardians lineup with relative ease the first time around. They saw him the second time, they had some trouble. But to me, there's something to grab onto there and be pretty optimistic about.
Yeah, I definitely think the way that he worked through the first time in the order, he really showed that he has, good potential, especially at the big league level, to get outs. And that's one of the things that he wanted to preface is like, I'm up here now. I want to work on and, find consistency within my pitches and be able to just work to get outs. No matter how I get them, I just want to continue to work, stronger and become better and find more consistency to get those outs. And yeah, we saw it in that first time around through the order. Second time around, he started to get hit around a little bit, a lot of much more solid contact. The Guardians seemed to figure him out there. And yeah, he's lost some zip on his velocity a little bit, making his way up through the minors and into the major leagues. But, I just think overall, it's just his first start. He should have probably been taken out after, when he was ever down, I think, like, what was it, 5 runs? Probably in that 5th inning when he started to really get knocked around a little bit. I think he should have been pulled there. I think he should have been pulled there, but other than that, I thought he pitched really well, and it's going to be interesting to see how he goes about his next start or two and see where he progresses from here. Knowing that he won't get a ton of time to work on things and will only be able to work on things during the week and during his off days. So it's going to be interesting to see how he adjusts there. But it was also a nice, probably sigh of relief for him to be able to work with his battery mate in Indy Rodriguez on Monday as well. So that was also a nice sight to see there. And just for him to work with Indy there and work his way through. But I don't think it's time to pump the brakes on Quinn Priester like everyone else in Pirate Land is talking about right now. It's one start. He didn't pitch that bad. Yeah, he got knocked around, but those are things to work on. Those are things to adjust to and get ready for in the next start. So it's going to be interesting to see how he attacks these next couple of starts.
I agree. We got to see what happens the next few times he goes to the bump here. You ever just feel bad for Kutch? He probably thought this was going to be such a fun year, and now he's just sitting here.
I think it was always a little bit. He knew what he was getting into. He knows. He knows this organization better than anyone on the team.
To an extent, yeah. But you,
I get what you mean, though. Like now, it's just kind of watch his career hit totals and just enjoy that.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched Titanic twice in the last 3 weeks. Definitely not. Definitely not because of the submarine that exploded. But, there's a scene in Titanic.
That movie is not that good to watch it 2 times in 3 weeks.
Highest grossing film prior to Avatar, so you can take that opinion and shove it where the sun don't shine. But
I'm watching Terminator right now. If you want to watch a Cameron movie that's long, watch that one.
There's a scene in Titanic where Rose and Jack are running back to try to get to the deck to get off. And the guy that built the boat, his name's something Andrews. Can't remember his name, his first name. But
everything.
It's something Andrews. He's looking at the clock and he knows Rose because, Rose is rich in this movie. And he looks at her and he goes, "I'm sorry I couldn't build you a better boat, Rose." And I wonder if Ben Sherrington's ever just run into Kutch in the hallway and in a very similar way he's gone, "I'm sorry I didn't build you a better team, Kutch." I have to wonder if there's ever been a similar interaction.
As the pierogies drown in the wage class part of the stadium.
Wow.
Because one of the mains broke and those suits don't float.
Oh my God.
Oh dear God. Anyway, the Steelers extended Alex Highsmith today.
Oh, wait, I have one thing to add to the baseball segment.
Okay.
I bought a new baseball glove 2 days ago because I needed one, And
how much baseball do you plan on playing?
I'm about to go to the beach. I want to catch.
Okay, that's acceptable.
So I needed a new glove, but I've just been breaking in this glove all week. It's so much fun. It's just such a great feeling breaking in a new glove. I feel good. I feel like I did before I just magically stopped being happy around like 11 or 12 years old. I get that feeling.
Oh my.
Wow.
Oh geez. That's depressing.
Jack sits back and lets us talk, and he comes back and says something like that. It's like that SpongeBob meme, sitting in the dark looking depressed. That's how I feel inside right now.
It's one of the more pure feelings in this life that we can enjoy is breaking in a new baseball glove and telling the guy at Dick's, "I absolutely do not need help finding a baseball glove. I think I'm able to do that myself." Todd.
Wow.
Idiot. What an idiot.
Wow, that's tough.
Find everything you're looking for? I'm fine, man. I know what I'm doing. This is the first time I've looked at a baseball glove, dude.
He thought you picked up the hobby at 23 years old. That's nice.
No, that's just it's ridiculous.
Wow.
Starting rec league, are we?
Todd was hoping to get some commission on a nice Wilson glove, and Jack told him to kick rocks.
Told Tom to go back to the batting cages and do his damn job. Help the T-ball kids.
That's insane to take that out on a Dick's employee. As a former retail worker, that's tough. Anyway, Alex Highsmith. Yeah, let's talk about him finally. Signing with the Steelers about another presidential term. What, 4 years, I believe it was?
68 million.
Ethan Orjack, whoever wants to go first.
Will he be able to avoid a lame duck presidency is something that we need to keep an eye on.
Jack, you can go first. You can go first since Nick and I rambled about the Pirates for.
I don't have much to add to this other than I saw that it happened because while I was playing Puckdoku this morning, and that did not go well. My coworker told me that we had re-signed Highsmith, which is good because I like Highsmith, and that's his edge. He'll lock that down. He's an effective player. I mean, we've already talked about how good of a 1-2 punch on the edges him and Watt are. I mean, it shows that you're solid on both edges for the immediate and slightly extended future. So, 10 out of 10 would watch again on Letterboxd.
Yeah, I really like the signing. I think they did a nice job shoring up the edges with Watt and Highsmith there, and really shoring up this defense. And I really think the only real issues is on the inside with the linebackers, and then with the corners as well. I think that's really the only real issues that they have on the defensive side, and still got a very, very young offensive group as well. So I think it's going to bode well for how they really structured Highsmith's contract. Yeah, they won't have a lot of money to spend, especially when Najee Harris is due for a contract, but still overall they have a lot of room to maneuver. What they have, especially with Pickett still on a rookie deal, and he'll be on a rookie deal for the next couple of years to come. So to really shore the outside linebacker core and pass rushing core with Highsmith and Watt there, I think that's going to be very, 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 very helpful for this defense, and really keep this core intact, especially with Cameron Hayward still around, and have a nice, strong veteran group there on the defensive side of the ball. So I think, the Steelers are really, really looking good there defensively, and as well as offensively. So this signing really shores things up for the Steelers as they head into training camp, and they get it done before training camp too. I know there's been a couple of contracts they've been looking to sign that have, went over and bled into training camp, and some distractions there before getting the deals done, but they get this one done before training camp begins. So, everyone can breathe a sigh of relief, because that was, I think, really only one of the big guys that they needed to sign, and one that they wanted to lock up heading into the season.
Yeah, there's two trains of thought that I've seen, and I didn't know what one I was more on the side of until just before we started recording. The one thought process is now, as you two mentioned, the edges are both secured, both locked down, as we would say here in Pittsburgh. That was probably horrible, and I'm sorry to everyone. The other train of thought is, well, sure, he had 14.5 sacks, but without TJ Watt, he had 3.5. And I get TJ Watt's injury prone, but the plan shouldn't be how well does he play when TJ Watt's not there. To me, the plan is you have TJ Watt secured for a very long time. He's the cornerstone of that defense. How well can you get someone to supplement him and give defenses maybe something else to worry about, when they're focusing on Watt? And I think he's done that quite well. Last year was a great year for him, and he's only 25. You can argue that he hasn't even begun his prime yet. And, I think we could see a lot more from him this season. So I think it's a good signing. Like I said, you got both edges covered. You got a guy who's in the system, who hasn't begun potentially even playing his best football yet. Good for him, man. I'm excited to see what this defense does. They've made a lot of good moves this year. Go Omar Khan.
Let Omar cook.
Every single Steelers tweet ever.
Let Khan. This is hard. The people don't realize podcasting is the hardest job in America.
Yeah, it really is.
Right behind being a mother.
After working 8 or 9 hours a day, you have to sit down and do this. It's difficult. Reminds me of my dad worked his 60-hour week unpaid internship in 1962, and I don't know anything about hard work.
This must be how those children in the mines with the candle hats felt after a long day of breathing in soot and a little thing I like to call natural asbestos. Good old.
You never know what's coming out of Jack's mouth next, and that's the most dangerous part of this show.
Oh,
how about the Guardians tweeting at Pickensburg throughout the whole series? Notable Twitter account Pickensburg, who
I hate Pickensburg.
That's harsh.
I found solace in these last two games against Cleveland, in going to watch the two hastily made Cleveland promotional videos on YouTube, and I just kind of watched them and just kind of had a good laugh, and realized that no matter how much joy you can derive from Cleveland, it is always just the funniest aspect of the city is that it just downright sucks. And no matter how much you try and pray, you will never win the AFC North. It's just not going to happen. There are only two teams in the last decade that have no losing seasons. One is the Kansas City Chiefs, and the other one is the Pittsburgh Steelers. The team who has the most is the Browns. So I don't care about baseball so that the Cleveland Guardians can get back into the playoffs, get in a series against the Yankees, and then tweet out, yeah, we might not play the most flashy style, but we play good, hard-working, small got swept. Get out of here.
Wow. I
John,
don't even know how much of that was factually correct, but anyway, we're gonna roll with it.
I don't know if they got swept. They've lost.
I think it went on a little longer than that.
They lost. They lost. That's all that matters. My
They
point
might have gone 5 games, to
and
be honest with you. I can't remember.
point
All I
remains
remember is
the same.
this to Garrett Cole, and I thought that was funny. I've met Garrett Cole; he's wonderful, but that was funny. Come on now, Rob Bras of the week.
Oh yes.
Oh wait, I have
Yes.
one. I forgot.
Oh,
Don't have
shit.
anything to report on hockey this week, so I have a quick Jack's movie corner.
We went from you were going to quote Sopranos to you were going to do a fake mailbag to this.
I mean, I'm in probably the final act of Terminator right now, and my favorite part is whenever Terminator's he gets beat up, but you know he's very durable as it turns out to be, and they cut to him like trying to fix his eye, but he ends up just taking it out. But they couldn't like do a practical effect makeup over Arnold Schwarzenegger's eye. So what they did was just make a fake head. And it's so funny.
Oh,
because you can just you can tell it's like a prosthetic head, but it's hilarious because for some reason they made 2 prosthetic arms that move too to put the sunglasses on him instead of just having his hands and arms put the sunglasses from the perspective onto the head. And I just think it's funny that there's probably like in some Hollywood basement, there's like a torso up complete prosthetic make like life-size model of like 1984 Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh my. That was Jack's movie corner.
I was
Mark
gonna
it down.
read the first page of A Tale of Two Cities in various
July 19th,
characters.
2023. Jack's movie corner debuted
couldn't
and
get-
ended.
I couldn't get Paulie's voice down, so I scrapped the Sopranos thing.
Wow.
I was gonna be, it was the best of times and it was the worst of times.
Jack's movie corner. Thanks everybody for listening to that. And if you're still here, it's time for the
It was the
Rod
best of
Bra-
times. I told him he was an asshole.
Rod Bras of the week. Ethan's up, I think, 3 or 4 to nothing.
I think it's 4 now.
It's 3 or
I'm
4.
gonna get it this time. I'm confident.
Wait, I didn't get it. I didn't get. Yeah, I never.
In fact, it might be 3 because I don't think either.
I
of
think
you
it's
got
3
the
because I
first
missed.
Penguins one.
I missed the Penguins one. Yeah.
But we're on the gridiron. This one's also easy because I really just want to see Jack get one. Like I'm close to just doing Ben Roethlisberger at this.
See, now that's
What?
the thing. When you say that, now I want to get it wrong.
And
Oh, wow.
watch me get this easy one wrong. I'm just feeling me just like
The way
blowing
I
this
almost confidently just say their name to like start us out is alarming every single week. This guy's a 3-time Super Bowl champion running back, but only played 11 games with the Steelers in 2014. And his last stint in the NFL was with Detroit. That was a few years ago. He officially retired in 2020, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know
Check
who
goes,
he-
yeah. You're right. You got that right.
Yeah. No, I know it is.
Ethan's not even writing it down. He's so
no,
just
I'm stumped.
I don't believe that for a second.
No, I honestly have
Dude.
zero clue
I can
who
tell.
this is.
I can tell you.
2014, 11 games.
Yeah, this is good. I'm having such a high functioning brain activity day to day. Boy,
Yeah,
am I on it. I got it. I
I have no
got
idea.
it.
Go ahead, Jack.
I lied.
whoever wants to go first.
Wow.
Can I just get it out of the way?
Sure.
Wait. Probably not, but Isaac Redman.
That's what I was thinking, but no. I don't
No.
think so. I don't think so. No.
No, Jack.
Wait. Oh, I got it. Hold on.
Oh no.
I got it. It's LeGarrette Blount.
Yeah, it is.
No.
There we go. There we
Oh
go.
my God. I forgot he was a Steeler, dude.
3-time Super Bowl champion Isaac Redman.
I forgot he smoked this.
Oh, wait. I completely forgot about that stat. I was thinking more of like the played 11 games, that kind of era, but no. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I wasn't really. I had it there for a minute. I really had it on the ropes there. Gonna get it one of these days.
All of America was rooting for Jack, and
We can end with a fun anecdote that happened to me at lunch today.
Well, let me just say, next week we'll be the Penguins for the Rod Barajas of the week, so be sure to tune in on Jack's best chance.
Jack will be in a different state next week.
That's Jack's way of saying he isn't going to be here next week, but Jack, go ahead and give us your anecdote.
I got to break in my glove. Okay, so I was standing in line for sushi today. And I was standing there, and I get lunch with my sister, so it's important for the story. But this guy is standing next to me, just a dude.
Making love to his tonic and gin.
He's in this big leg brace, and he's like, "Are you guys lawyers?" And I just immediately was like, no. And he was like, "Well, you look like lawyers." And I was like, "I'm not. Neither is she." And so that happens. I'm like, all right, I've had weirder. So then I'm just standing there because my sister went up to order, and he leans in close and looks at me, and I turned around and saw him, and he's like, "Did you wrestle?" I was just like, "No, never." And I don't want to. And like, I'm like, and then he goes, "Missed out on your calling, huh?" I wanted to leave. I didn't know what to say to that. I just kind of turned around. I left. I didn't order, dude. I got food somewhere else.
Could have told him, yeah, I wrestled. I was a bit of a hometown hero. My name was Kurt Angle back in the day. But oh well.
I didn't want it to go on. Nick, what if he asked me to wrestle?
The man in the leg brace? I don't think he was up for issuing physical challenge.
I know. So, like, where did it come from? I'm not,
Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton-Eyed Joe? We'll see you next week.
Wrestling Joe.
Stranded in
scared
Pittsburgh.
me at the sushi place.
We'll see you next time.